Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're having a good week at home with your families, and I hope that you are safe and healthy. I'm still at my home here, and this morning I stepped outside of my house to enjoy my coffee in the sun and breathe in a little fresh air. So if you have the chance at your house or apartment to step outside, either on a balcony or a deck or your front steps, or if you have a yard, I've found that it makes me feel much more calm and happy when I'm able to breathe in the fresh air outside and feel the sun on my face. And we are supposed to be getting some warmer weather soon, so I hope you're all able to get outside. When we were last together in the classroom, we were learning about Georgia O'Keeffe. And she was the painter who painted those very, very bright flowers close up so you could see all of the detail on the inside of the flowers. And we talked about painting and drawing what we see in nature. And some of you practiced painting or drawing flowers. I have a book at my house about Georgia O'Keeffe, and I thought I'd share it with you this morning. And then in your slide this week, I have included some nature-inspired projects. And hopefully you're able to get outside a little bit and do some art projects focused on nature. So here is this book about Georgia O'Keeffe. My name is Georgia. Georgia O'Keeffe was born on a farm in Wisconsin in 1887. When I was 12 years old, I knew what I wanted: to be an artist. I've always known what I wanted. When I was small, I played alone for hours and hours and hours. I was satisfied to play all by myself. I did things other people don't do. When my sisters wore sashes, I didn't. When my sisters wore stockings, I wore none. And when my sister wore braids, I let my black hair fly. I rode to town every Saturday to copy pictures from the stack in the art teacher's cupboard. At home, I looked out my window and drew pictures of what I saw. Maybe I could make something beautiful. At school in Chicago, I drew some statues in a museum. At school in New York, I painted one still life painting a day, every day. At school, I painted my teacher's ideas. But when school days were over, I went out into the wide world to discover my own ideas. I went to the Texas plains, the wild west of my childhood books. You have never seen a sky. It is so wonderful. I walked into the sunset. I felt the wind across the plains. And I painted the sunset and the sky and the wonderful loneliness and the emptiness of the place. I painted day and I painted night. I worked until my head felt light in the top. I have things in my head that are not like what anyone else taught me, shapes and ideas. But I bundled up my paintings and went to New York City to be where other artists lived. I walked down in the canyons of steel. I lived high up in the clouds and painted what I saw from my window. But sometimes what I saw from my window was the far away calling me. I painted a garden in the city. I wanted everyone to see the flowers the way I saw them. I looked closely at the flowers. I painted a camellia. I painted it big so people would notice. I painted a Jack in the Pulpit. I painted it big so people could see. I know some of you were painting Jacks in the Pulpit last time you were in my class. I painted poppies and petunias and sunflowers and jimson weeds and irises and apple blossoms. My garden bloomed until everyone saw the flowers the way I saw them. But still, I looked into the sky. The distance has always been calling me. I went to New Mexico desert, so far away that no one ever comes. I was satisfied to be all by myself. It was too dry for the flowers to grow, but there were bones. I gathered the bones, big bones, little bones, short bones, long bones, a cow's skull, a horse's skull, a ram's skull, and brought the bones home to paint. One day I held one up against the sky and saw the blue through that hole. I painted what I saw. I saw the sky and the red hills. I walked in the hills at daybreak and twilight, at noon and in the starlight. I painted the arms of two red hills, reaching out to the sky and holding it. I drove my Model A across the desert and back, and up and down over the hills. I painted in my studio on wheels until the afternoon bees chased me home. Even in winter, I went far out into the far away and painted in the bitter cold. I painted when the wind was so strong it nearly blew me away. I did things other people don't do. I climbed my ladder to the night sky and waited for the sun. I slept under the stars to see the morning sky when I woke. I stayed in the desert. My hair turned from black to gray to white as the bones, and I still walked in the red hills. My pile of bones grew, my flowers bloomed in the desert, and the pedernal was mine. And the sky, oh, it was still wonderful. I painted the sky one more time. I painted my sky big so people would see the sky the way I did. I worked from dawn to dusk every day for weeks and months. Then as I painted the last cloud, the sun slipped behind the pedernal and I laid my brushes down, kissed the sky for me. Georgia O'Keeffe lived to be 98 years old. In museums all across the land, people see her flowers, deserts, hills, cities, and skies the way she did. If you and your family have some time, you can look up some of Georgia O'Keeffe's paintings online, and maybe you can show them some of your favorites that we've seen in class. It was so great to read this book to you, boys and girls, and I hope that you're able to find some time to be creative this week and create something beautiful.